our first map of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, this is when you want to keep the eyes on the screen. This is our first map for today, and this is a SEA Games 30-second for PUBG Mobile. We're going to sign off, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll do you one better. You said it's rare for a Thailand team to make it in the top 5, not as a 4.
Yeah?
Pretty common, but it is not rare for...
That's what I meant.
No,
it's rare for
no,
them
hold
to
on,
not
hold on. But it is not rare for them to make it as 1v all.
Oh, yes.
If they can lose 3 members, but that one guy who clutches up towards the end could even rake in like 12 kills and the chicken dinner all by himself. This is why this region is not to be trifled with. But yes, let's have our eyes onto the rest of the competitors here. Malaysia, they took a different approach than some of the other countries who's breaking superstars apart. They seem to go with what's safe. Having the entire geek slate there, their entire stack, nothing's changed. Now, will that stand on a Southeast Asian level? It sure did in the Malaysian region, but will it stand on a regional level?
Yeah, at PMSL, Geek Slate did pretty good as well. They did make it toward the end. But in this situation, when you look at these players here, you remember when healing game was a thing and everyone was just running around and grabbing band-aids. I just played the healing game in the blue zone, but a change happened. You're no longer seeing that. You can see this aggressive aggression coming through here in Laos. It's going to be a first team to pick up that first blood, and it's happening.
Be a bit more trivial with their footsteps. Meanwhile, Lizzie tries to push onto the rest of Indonesia. Potatoes by the window. This man has got a highlight of his own during the individual stunt, but can he now with teammates turn the tides here? They have the initial damage coming out from Lizzie from Laos with the entry frag. Yeah, they've only lost 1 member so far, but Lizzie, he's up and forward as his teammate got his back. If he pushes into this window, there is no way for a cover fire once he gets in.
He can go for the isolate play. That'll be a whole different thing. Phantom, back out! Do not dry peek that way. A little bit too ambitious. Gets shot straight in the face. Honda from the backside tries to make something happen. Good for one. A jump out from the window. And just like that, Redface takes him down. Easily picking up his teammates again, and the first team to be eliminated would be Laos, Team 1.
Yeah, the hesitation right there, Lizzie. I didn't know what he was going for. He went straight to the window. He had 0 information, and that stalemate right there, that doubt of not actually pushing in. Hey, they could have. They stayed, and Indonesia got the heal out in time, and well, turned the tides by being the first one to jump onto the. Right now, Brunei. This is newbie OP, the one man who's played in the Pro League under the banner of Crit Esports. He's been pulling out strides lately. I think it was the IESF event in which Brunei did relatively well for themselves.
Honestly, look at Brunei. It's not really a country that you see as an organization, but the players have been to the big stage. Now, as we come into this area, Paradise Resort, we're seeing so many teams from different areas. But if you look at how Vietnam is holding this, 2 in a compound, 1 in a high ground, and 1 in the middle, gives them so much space to work with in terms of information gathering. But Vietnam, I don't think they want to go too aggressive so early as well. If you look at Vitoy right now, barely has any utilities. Vest just not doing so great. Lambor as well, honestly, when you think about it. And for Vietnam, I think they haven't really had the chance to loot because a lot of teams did go down in Paradise Resorts. I mean, it is a hotspot after all. But for them, I don't think they were lucky enough to get that loot before other teams did.
I think the strategy is a little bit different. They want to loot from the crates themselves after these players drop them.
It's like a delivery.
As they make their way, as they make their way to the lobby, right? That's one way to loot things up and make sure you get something going on. And I mean, Paradise, and you're on the outside. Sorry,
is Malaysia
what?
chasing? No. Just kind of hoping for that, you know, a Grand Theft Auto situation, perhaps.
Different game. Let's not get in trouble trying to pull that somebody. Don't pull some foreigners up here. But meanwhile, Romeo boy, Myanmar right now under the pressure. I believe that is Timor Leste. Mind my geography. Yes, it is. I got correct. Lucky guess, I might say. And you will go in with the revive. This Timor Leste look to make the push though. I've seen movements, but Sando, he's got eyes on one side of the entrance. Surely Timor Leste, they have to Be very careful. Nameless, he missed one guy. He does not see them behind it, but nearly whiffed that one. Myanmar does get the knockdown though. Timor Leste immediately in trouble. 2 dead. One on his knees and only Dizzy who has to willy-nilly make his way out of there because it is pointless at this point rate.
It's a very unfortunate situation when you think about it because these two teams were in a stalemate, a Mexican standoff for so long. No one was moving. And unfortunately, he wasn't ready with his nade to throw it out. And Vikoi, that is really good trigger discipline. Decides not to shoot just yet. He knows that he doesn't have a lot of HP, doesn't have a lot of utilities to work with only one nade. But look at Malaysia on the aggression. William's gonna go down. Nice cross with his teammate with Flax as well, and Yen gets picked up so very easily. Fogicio able to get away with his life on the other side, and here's Jumper, Malaysia 2, playing in the blue zone, and this is not something that's unusual for Malaysia if you think about it. They're always one of teams, or sometimes they can be one of the teams that takes a while to rotate in. They prefer to take their time, but the problem with rotating in late is that there are some teams like Thailand, if you remember VPE last year, they love playing the gatekeeper, waiting at the very corner of the zone and catching anyone who's trying to rotate inside the circle off guard, basically just farming kills at that point.
Yeah, I think VPE is also one of those teams from Thailand who loves the Alpha Highlands simply because sure elevations itself. I mean, a lot of these teams actually within this new patch like to camp towards the Alpha side because it seems like the most likely than not a safe bet to be on because with the new patch you don't want to tank the blue very much, and if you were to make a gamble per se, a lack of a better words, or where would be the most advantaged position, then Camp Alpha has got tons of it. But right now we fix our eyes onto Cambodia, the homegrown team. It is the John who has his hair all grown out as well. Joseph from Join Me Black.
I was gonna ask you, like, you watched the CEC. What was the performance like for the Cambodian teams here, and what did you like most about them?
Consistency. I think the CEC was a very surprising run for Cambodia. They did relatively well, seeing as though that they are a team from the wildcard, and you know how the wildcard has a reputation of, you know, maybe a little bit different and lacking in certain departments, but they were pretty consistent during the CEC. They've got a couple of chicken dinners and at least averaging about 6 to 8 kills when they do so. And so they are one to look out for moving in. But talking about another wild card, it is Philippines up against Timor-Leste's Dizzy. He's the one-man sole survivor for his team. Can he try and outplay the likes of these two Filipinos?
Look at the aggression, but fortunately not going to be able to. It'll be really hard for him to do anything. He was flushed out because of that molly. Had to go out one way, and the Filipinos just kind of pincered him there. You really got to give it to them as well because they were double swinging him together, not allowing anyone to fall down. But let's look at a circle here coming in toward the southern side. And I think for a lot of teams who are on the northern side, coming toward the southern side is going to be a big problem as they navigate not only the trains, but the teams who are waiting at the edges of the circle. Now, if we look at here, there's already 2 teams already out. It's going to be Laos as well as Timor-Leste too. But for the rest, you can see that for Laos 2, lost 2 players already. Not too sure what happened, and 20 down. Laos 2, their second team here, about to go out, but at least they still have half the team left. And gets shot at by Newbie, but I think he whiffed that shot. Gonna cook up that nade just a little bit. What he's gonna do here is try to clip him out with that nade as it bounced. Unfortunately does not. He does take a little bit of damage. Newbie's OP and Chewy's coming in from the other side. 2 different areas to worry about. The shots come out. Newbie takes a lot of damage, goes down immediately to the lobby. 1 point in the pocket, and Chewy says, well, what on earth happened there? They had a strength in numbers, but clearly was separated, not able to play together.
That's actually pretty bad. You had 2 members from Brunei, all healthy. Laos had 2 members, but they're all low. You had 0 info, but have the high ground, and you went pushing downhill blindly, got shot, caught out, lose 2 member, and Laos still having members in. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, that blue zone hurt too. Did go down, 3 eliminations in the pocket. Not the end of the world. I always say that so long as you don't get lobbied with 0 points, it's not the worst thing to happen. But Thailand, this team, is taking a lot of damage. Bureau alone tries to spray it out. Did not realize that Vietnam was playing in the corner. All three of them there. It was a firing squad. It's so nasty. Lambor tries to trade it out. Get some revenge to his teammates. Thailand over there on the other side as well. They want to go aggressive. Mela still holding down the line. But over on the high ground there is still another team there. Myanmar holding. Trying to steal some kills. Third party might be the name of the game for them. Chua tries to push out. Does not take any shots properly. Does not get any damage in. Frankie as well playing to the blue zone. They want to get this pickup. But doesn't seem to be happening just yet.
Yeah, Mela actually fended off that compound really well. Gets the shot and the DBS onto Lambo, who was trying to push in immediately. Frankie calls off the pursuit here as they lost member 2, in fact. Lambor and Chua GH in Thailand. This is why I say they are an absolute beast right here. Oh, Sando gets clipped out from the tree lines. Frankie, he's hiding behind one log, but it doesn't seem to do him much good here. He does have allies around the area to maybe shoot him down. But remember, Thailand was at a disadvantage of only 3 members, and they turned that tide around right now, though. Thailand marinating in the blue. They have to make a move fast.
Feels bad for Sando. Was trying to third party. I was honestly surprised that Frankie was very aware of him. And on top of that, Frankie in a very dangerous position managed to fence for himself, pick up that knock, and runs away. Now Vico is all alone here. He has to rush over to his teammate. He has to pick him up. He is still waiting in the ditch for him. Now what he's trying to do is, for Vico, he's not going to return any fire. Just play it quietly. And hopefully the Thai team decides to rotate another way. But for the Thai teams, that's not going to happen. And Vicoy now eating a lot of damage to the blue. If you can look at Vicoy, he doesn't have any healing items at all. What he has is a nade, just a flashbang to work with. But going to be able to get out of the way. And the Thai teams will not be pursuing him.
Oh, Frankie still lives. Look at that. He's crawled his way onto safety.
This is crazy. So how are they able to do that? But look at that. Flags. The 2 Malaysian teams are in trouble from 2 different areas. And Indonesia in a killing spree, 5 eliminations in the pocket. Gotta be careful about them.
They will get the pickup, but now Thai will find their way on the inside right here. Mela gets caught out though. Vichoi, nice one with the clutch here. Now Malaysia going on an uphill battle against Myanmar, who's got that entire top of the hill covered left, right, and center. It is a no-go. Call the shots, pull off. Pull back. You gotta get out of here, Malaysia. Find another way in.
I think they're stuck, honestly. The low ground is not in their favor. The blue zone is pushing up. Like it or not, they have to find a way up here. They hit so much damage from that nade, and Indonesia as well. Myanmar is with the one. I talked about the team to play the gatekeeper, and it's gonna be Myanmar here. Not allowing anything inside, and Jumper outside. Gonna go down to Vafel. At least a pick off there. Vietnamese team does get eliminated with 2 eliminations in the pocket, 15th place. But for Indonesia, they want to try and climb up here. But Tuzai is not letting him at all. With this cover as well as the high ground, they can really, like I say, like this whole area is literally their oyster. They have so much freedom to move around, take up an area. They can spray and then just move backwards away. But then this cut of noise by the Indonesian teams is going to keep them on their toes. They have a general idea where Indonesia is, but it's really hard to say if they've rotated out or if they're moving into a different spot. But as time runs out here, Indonesia, you're running out of time. They have to find a way up onto this compound. These 2 teams need to win. One of them either Indonesia or even Myanmar, because they want to try and get to the final circle.
Yeah, but Indonesia is playing it really smart though. They're positioning their members 1 north, 1 south. Try and sandwich their opponents. Right now, Thai team, Mela gets picked up by Logan. Will make the travel across, but it wouldn't hit. So I would say that was a successful push into the circle. They made their way across, and they will pretty much live to fight for another day here. With 2 members in a Thailand team, I'd say they're still pretty lethal themselves. I mean, that's being me. I would have said they're lethal even with just a single member alive, regardless anyway. But Vietnam, Thailand, off to a rough start with shooting each other from ground zero, making passageway for the rest of the teams to try and inch it closer. Cambodia is still in with their first team. Malaysia still a first stack of team here. Thailand number 1 has not shown their might just yet.
Speaking of that, I mean, we did talk about some teams who are playing it a little bit more safe early, and I think that because this is the first game, hold that thought as Joseph really want to get picked there into a Thai player. Cambodia is so aggressive right now. Snipes will be stealing at least one from Atartes, and the Philippines will at least fire back. It's a 1-for-1 trade at least. Not the worst way to go. But in this situation, when you want to try and get the pick off, it's going to be a problem. Another team bites the dust. It's going to be Timor Leste 1, 0 eliminations. It also means it's 14th place. Means no placement points as well. But for Cambodia, I mean, we talked about a team that likes to play a little bit more, I would say, safe. I think the first map is a team that call it an icebreaker game, right? Because you're trying to figure out what exactly each team can bring to the table. No clue what kind of strats they want to play. But for Cambodia, this aggression looks so good of them.
They have a game plan. Look at both these teams. They are playing it really silently, only taking fights on the mid to long range level, never trying to get into close quarter combats because they know that's where the strength lies. Cambodia is one of those teams that if you give them a compound and the luck of the circle, they are going to turret you down in the attempt here. Both Cambodian teams still very healthy. Of course, Cambodia 2 with the 3 eliminations and Cambodia with 1 of their own. They might spot out some of these teams, especially Malaysia, who's pretty much an eye level at this point. Meanwhile, Fluketh from Thai gets knocked down. That's Thai team number 1.
Oh, it's so unfortunate for Fluketh. You know that he's one of the firepower, the main firepower, especially we've seen in the previous tournaments here. And for a lot of these teams, the circle is going to be pushing downwards. It's going to be so hard to rotate. Now for Thailand, the last 2 players, for Thai 2 at least, it's going to be so hard to get into the circle. They don't have the high ground. If they want to get inside, the best bet they have is to go for a long rotation. But if you remember earlier, their vehicle actually got blown out. But as time ticks here, look at how many teams are still up toward the north. They want to get to the circle, and Cambodia is just, they have so much control over this high ground. They're not allowing anyone to come into their area. They have a nice hold. They have all the information they need. And seeing the way they push and just move around here allows them to really get the information if anyone would be pushing out. You hear the sounds of gunshots, but no one is really shooting back, honestly, at this point.
They are third-party kings.
And Brunei goes down. Surprising, actually, when you think about it.
Not the best of a start for Brunei, but obviously they've made their way this far to have a representation, and that's not an easiest thing to do. Up until recent, Brunei was not even acknowledged within the PUBG Mobile ecosystem, and right now they are here and they are looking to stay. Meanwhile, Cambodia, same things can be said with this nation who's only had esports for about less than 5 years now on a high. Showing why they should not be shut off from the world itself. Cambodia consistently through and through already 6 points, 5 eliminations.
For Cambodia right now, I think that this is why they look so good in the CEC. Look at that shot onto Ponbit. Just run, spray it out, and move away. And for the Thai 2 players, they eat a lot of damage from that nade. Cambodia pushing up, still being very, very careful. Tony K going down, Shrepsy trying his best to save his teammate. Trying to go for a 1v1, trying to go for the isolate. Does get one easy. The John coming in from the other side. Joseph also goes down. What on earth coming in from Shrepsy? But unfortunately, they do go down. But still, enough damage to the Cambodian team.
That would have been pretty bad had he had more allies on his sides here. Meanwhile, talking about getting knocked down by grenades, it is Cambodia's second team, Paya, getting hit a little bit too hard for comfort, but this is going to allow Indonesia to maybe go in with the push or pretty much get the info and reposition, understanding that the direction the threat is coming from. Right now, they're split into a pretty good position here. All 4 members still alive. They can take on off flank angles to ensure that Cambodia doesn't push on forward.
Yeah, for Indonesia right now, they are the low ground, but they're playing it very safe. Lapa are playing a prowl game. As long as his teammates, I like the areas that they're holding. They have 2 vehicles, a nice little hut as well. But Satar ate a lot of damage there. Not too sure where it's coming from. But look at this area as it comes through, the crater area up there. You don't want to fall in there. It's hard to get out. And for Yuhai, Snipes, Dumb Good, I would say that they are the Malaysian dream team for sure. They do have a good position. They're just trying to be really safe right now as they get into the circle. They're right beside another team. They're trying to play it very, very quiet. The Philippines, they might have an idea where these other players are going to be. But this is not the best elevation you want to be on. You are at the bottom of an area. The circle is pushing up your way. There's only one way forward, which is on the other side. Philippines going to try pushing up from the top side here. Yuhai playing close, hugging the wall, not making a single noise. The sprays come out. Fortunately gets one. Teammates do shoot back. He has a little bit of cover. Snipes and Gambut so very low right now. Will be lobbied. Only Yuhai boy left. What can he do? Does go down. Philippines looks so good. 5 eliminations.
They hesitated right there. They had information on where the position of the enemies were, but unfortunately they will take an L this time around. Cambodia up against Indonesia, but the tree, not enough to keep them in play. Down to the last 4 teams. You do have Cambodia's second squad here, the higher performing squad, currently at the number 1, but now only 2 members. 1 member left to play and is eliminated at 5 elimination points in 4th place. Vietnam, Philippines, and Indonesia. Which way will this Southeast Asian breeze sway?
Oh, Rosello taking the adrenaline shot. Robusta as well will be revived by his teammates. You can see how much damage is coming through. Kong throwing in that nade. Whether it hits or not is the question. Ooh, takes down Barode. Will be minimally knocked down, sent to the lobby, not allowed to be revived. No baits out over here. This is all just confidence playing here. Walks up, shoots. Nice reposition for that reload as well. Casito with his teammates, still very healthy. Playing very quietly. Parajin and Kong so close around. Tuang from the other side as well. Kong unfortunately gets shot in the face. At DBS doing a lot of damage. His teammate does fly. 7 eliminations, 3rd place. The sprays come out. Indonesia very healthy on the other side of the circle. That rock giving them a lot of cover. Parajin undeterred though as they come into the other side. But these 2 players from Indonesia not scared at all. It's a 2 versus 4. 1 knock at the very least. Parajin eating a lot of damage. Kwang will be revived at least. It's a lot more numbers than Indonesia. Indonesia, what can you do when you're stuck between a rock, literally a rock, and the blue zone?
The position does not favor the likes of Indonesia, but I called it. Top 3, Vietnam or Thailand will find a way on the inside, and right now we'll see why. Going in for the push tactically with the cover fires. 1 member makes the advancement, pushing forward. Goes in for the flank shot. He misses. It was a whiff, but he does get the location set. Behind the rock, he says, and he tossed one over. It's a nade. Will it hit?
Oh!
It will. It's good. And only 1 member down who will be eliminated. Vietnam taking home the first ever winner with a chicken dinner here in the 3rd.